Just to define success, on our website we have a video showing like the back numbers of this, but we worked with this company called Aerolace, and it's a company that treats acne.
Hi, this is Daryl White with Carte Blanche Media, and today I have as my guest Jonathon Lemon of Paid Ad Pros. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hey, Daryl, thank you for having me.
No problem. So let's go ahead and get started here. And if you could, go ahead and tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Brief 101. I started off on Upwork as a freelancer, kind of transitioned more to having an agency today, where we primarily do technical SEO and a little bit of maybe content SEO as well.
Okay, awesome. And obviously, you kind of just answered my next question there about kind of how you got started. So you got started with Upwork. Like, what drew you to SEO then? I guess would probably be a good question to ask there. Like, what was it about SEO, and like, why did you start there?
Yeah, I actually didn't start in SEO. So similar to kind of how you're more on the Facebook side of things, I started off more on Google Ads side. And what I very quickly realized was it was very hard to find people that could invest money sometimes in advertising. So I ended up going more towards technical SEO because everyone has a website. Not everyone has, $5,000 a month plus management fee for maybe Google Ads. So although that's where I started, I didn't really say finish there as of now. I think.
Okay, awesome. What would you say has kind of been the biggest challenge since you got started there?
Biggest challenge. I had different challenges along the way. I would say the first challenge when I was a beginner was probably getting sales in, not knowing how to find people to sell to, or I guess even readdressing the idea of even calling it sales, because after you kind of get some years in your belt, it's really about more finding a great solution for them instead. I know that may sound a little bit cheesy, but that's where a lot of people start off having problems with. It's just, where do you kind of get sales, and where do you get that first type of income from? And the way I did that was, first I started applying to jobs on Upwork. It was a much different game back in the day, before you can apply to 100 jobs a day and it would cost you maybe $15. Nowadays, if you apply to 100 jobs, it's maybe $600 to $1,000. So the finances lined up a lot easier back then. Now today, I would say I kind of have a cheat code into how I get sales. Is after you do it for some years, you've already worked with enough people to where you start to have a referral pipeline come in, which is how I sustain most of my business now. What our company just launched this month was trying kind of like a sales team outreach, which, we don't really have any results from that yet, but that is something new that we're trying.
Awesome. So kind of most of your business comes through Upwork and whatnot. They're like, and referrals, it sounds like, at this particular point in time. Is that right?
Yeah, Upwork is how it started. You work with one person from Upwork, and then you do a good job. They'll tell 3 to 5 of their friends that you did a good job, or they'll be asked. So at least this is how it happened with me. Was if you don't really have any start at all and you're not making any money, when you start to make money, either A, you tend to tell your friends about it. You're like, I'm really excited. I'm doing really well for generating this type of revenue. And then all their friends may tell their friends, or they may just be inquisitive of like, you're just a teacher. How are you making $10,000, $100,000 a month now? So there's probably one of those two scenarios that pop up. And then they're almost giving you a referral in that sense without you even thinking about it, because they're just talking about their working relationship with you. So that's a majority of the business now, is after we've done good work and then they tell other people. I would say the smaller percentage of it now is Upwork.
Awesome. And what would you say has kind of been your biggest success there since you got started there? It sounds like you've had multiple successes, but is there one that stands out?
Just to define success as being taking a company from nothing to making them a lot of money, or being profitable, or what would that?
Sure. That's a good example. Sure.
Yeah, on our website we have a video showing like the back numbers of this, but we worked with this company called Aerolace, and it's a company that treats acne for Black people. So White people, Spanish people, Asian people, Black people, they all develop acne in different ways. And a lot of the treatments out there were currently just for white people or Spanish people, and there wasn't a lot of ways to treat acne for Black people. And I don't really understand the science of it too much, but I do understand that, like, what do I need to know as a marketer is that our target demographic was to remove acne for Black people. And, Black people love this because there wasn't a lot of solutions out there for them. So we took them from zero to making $225,000 a month in profit. And that's profit. That's not revenue. So revenue is probably, I don't know, like 30, maybe 300, 500,000. But that's after they pay all their expenses. That's after they pay their marketing budget, everything else. That's how much they have left over.
That's an awesome success story. Wow, great. And what would you say kind of in your journey as a marketer, is there kind of a favorite marketing book that has helped you along the way?
Yeah, I'm very selective about the books I read. So there's a little bit of background knowledge, background information on this, but I actually, this sounds kind of embarrassing to say out loud, but I probably have never even really read books most of my life. And then around 2 years ago, I saw this YouTube video about, I forget who it was, but someone said, like, you have to read a book like every single day, every single week. So I got on this book craze of reading one book a week to sometimes 2 books a week. And I went from literally not having any book knowledge to a lot of book knowledge. And what I realized is that the book knowledge that applies is usually in slower moving industries. And this has been a big mistake for me in marketing, is a lot of people will ask me, how do you get good at marketing? How do you do this? How do you do that? And you can only become good at something through obtaining knowledge from a book if it's in a slow moving industry. And I'll give you an example. I read the Cold Email Manifesto, and spoiler alert, it didn't really help out a lot at the end. And what the reason why it didn't end up working was because cold emailing, if you sent out a cold email 10 years ago, your open rates, your close rates were double to quadruple. And that's just because so many people have saturated cold emailing. A lot of people have reused the same subject lines. I took their exact email template for a marketing agency and plugged it into a cold emailing campaign, sent it to 20,000 people. And in the book, they said they got a 5% sales rate. And for me, I had like 1 or 2 people just even show up for a meeting. Yeah. So, and then in slower moving industries like real estate or other areas where they will not have a major change happen for 20, 30 years, then a book could be very, very powerful. So the marketing books I'm going to list are more of marketing books that apply to psychology that are very slow moving versus fast moving, because as soon as you release a book that's fast moving, you just now know to pretty much not do that now. And it's actually much quicker to just go out and do it yourself rather than read a book. So Contagious, I believe it was something Burger. I think it was Jonah Burger. I really liked it a lot because when you're running an ads campaign or SEO or whatever you want to do, how can you create a method to where they don't just see the ad, but they take a picture of your ad, to where they then remember their ad and they want to share it to other people? How can you create just not a cost, like you make, for an instance, an auto body shop, okay? It may be a very boring industry for the most part. People get into a wreck and whatever happens, but put a very creative title in there, like, you need us help banging your body. People will think that's just authentically funny, take a picture of it and post it on social media. And I would say things of that nature work, is where, how could you compound upon your already existing marketing sales, which I liked a lot about Contagious, who specifically specialize in the social media space of that.
Awesome. So no, that's a great book. I've read that book. It's been a while. Now you just reminded me I need to read it again. How about for podcasts? Are there any podcasts that kind of stand out to you as far as helping you on your journey with marketing?
A lot of the podcasts I watch aren't really in regards to marketing, which you think it would be, but I mean, now I kind of think about it more as like a business owner rather than a technician sometimes. So a lot of the problems I face, I'd like to watch the Iced Coffee Hour from Graham Stephan, like that one a lot. They just had one last week where they talked about a Harvard professor. Whenever you have anger or sadness, what's the main roots of anger or sadness? And it's usually caused by desire. And I mean, I'm just being open and honest with you. I sometimes very much get caught up into, why am I not at this school? Why am I not making this much money? Why am I not here? And then for me, that's helped me personally a lot, is identifying that desire of, why do I want to be there so bad? And then once you kind of adjust your desire, then you can say, okay, well, I can just be happy where I am now without taking up the whole conversation on that.
Gotcha. No, and Graham Stephan is, I would say, one of my favorite YouTubers, and that is kind of a podcast. Are there any other kind of YouTubers or like video series that you kind of watch that have helped you along the way there?
I would say, in terms of sales, which I don't know why this one comes to mind. It's outside of YouTube, but it's a videos though. So the Jordan Belfort straight line method, that has been very significant in my sales. When I first started off, I think I was making like $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And I went on piratebay.com, downloaded Tor. I got a virus on my computer at the end, but the amount of value I got from the videos was definitely more than substantial. And to kind of concise what it talks about tonality, and it talks about staying on topic, which is the straight line. How can you stay on topic the whole time? Because you'll be on a call with someone, they'll start saying they want X, Y, and Z, and they go off topic. And pretty much those are the two biggest things that lead to a sale. And there's actually been a lot of other studies, specifically on tonality, and about 80% of the sale is in tonality. And I'll give you an example. I got a cold call the other day. This is on YouTube as well if you ever Google or research cold calling. But they'll say a very standard outreach is saying, "Hey, Daryl, I'll just be honest with you that this is a cold call, but can I please have 30 seconds of your time?" And that's a very standardized method for a cold call. But you could tell someone hired someone out that was potentially from another country, and they called me and it sounded like they were threatening me. He said, "This is a cold call. Do you want to take my call or hang up now?" And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like almost intimidated.
Hang up now.
Yeah. So it really goes to show how much can just go into tonality, and that if you're just excited about something, and if you speak with excitement, you'll be able to do a lot better for yourself. So I would say that's been, in terms of results for me, has pushed me along the farthest.
Awesome. No, you're dropping golden nuggets here. I appreciate it, Jonathan. What would you say has been kind of the most helpful resource or tool that you've used for your business in, say, the past year or so? Is there?
And I think that was kind of a result of kind of being a freelancer versus more of an agency. So when I was at the top of being a freelancer before I transitioned to being an agency, I would have sales calls booked all day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I didn't do any follow-ups. It's like if they didn't close from when I was on that call, I just never talked to them again. So I love ClickUp. It's very high quality, and I'm still in the free version of it for even having an agency. I just have like I have 2 developers on it, and I have 2 salespeople, and they give you a free plan up to 5 people. And then if you actually start using them, it's like, I don't know, $30 per person or something. But that has been very efficient in my work life for sure. That now we've been able to double sales just by following up, which you think would be so simple, but we weren't doing that, to be blatantly honest, for a very long time.
What would you kind of say? It sounds like what would you say has kind of been the most impactful piece of advice that you could give to someone who's kind of looking to, I guess, scale their agency or work on paid ads or SEO, whatever it is in the marketing world, in 2023 or 2024 as we go into 2024 here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I started off, I was more of a white label company for a lot of agencies, where instead of working with a larger one where you don't get to have someone in-house, I was practically in-house for a very long time. What I learned very quickly was I took all these courses. I learned just pretty much faster by doing rather than getting what I call getting caught up in the paperwork. I would say 9 out of 10 marketing companies never succeed because they want to develop PowerPoint. So they want to get all the right people for the job first. And, none of that. I mean, yes, of course that stuff matters, but, none of, like, for an example, you do Facebook ads, right? If you were going to hire someone for Facebook ads, how would you really be able to test their skill level?
Yeah, you would have to kind of ask a questionnaire about some basic things. Actually, I've had that happen to me for like a couple agencies that I've worked for. They kind of asked, like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Like, have you kind of go through a Google Sheets? But yeah, like the proof is in the pudding when they actually start start doing the work there, I think is what you're getting at. So
Yeah, so like if you were trying to, and I'll kind of throw it back here for a second with yourself, how would you, if because you're an expert in Facebook ads, how would you focus on someone wanting to hire if you were in a recruiting position for Facebook? What would be the first things you would want to ask?
tell me about like ROAS that you've had recently. Tell me about kind of the best client experience that you've had there. What is your average click-through rate? Like things like that is probably what I would ask there to kind of get an idea of like if they know what they're talking about or they don't there. Yeah.
You want to know what's so funny is I've interviewed people to work with ads with us for specifically Google ads, and you'll hear them typing on their computer like really fast in the chat GPT the questions, and then they'll rehearse it right back to you. So I don't know. This is just me. Call me crazy, but I ask them to share their screens, and yeah, like if they're willing to share their screen with me, I mean, and what's number one thing that people will tell you if you ask them to share their screen? What do you think that'd be?
I can't share my screen, or that function is sometimes there, but like if they know what they're talking about, they're going to share their screen there. Yeah,
Exactly, right. They'll say we have an NDA or we have this or this going on. And, in most NDAs you have, they usually allow a section there for case studies or sharing. But yes, exactly. Usually there'll be some type of prevention. So from there, I just ask them if they can share their screen. So then I could actually, get some more feedback. So anyways, what's the most important piece of advice tying it all back together? Whenever you are trying to hire out someone for ads, make sure that you can visually see it, because someone can tell you really great things. I've hired people that I got along with really well over a phone call, but when times actually came to where I needed to have work done, maybe communication suffered, maybe technical work wasn't there. So, and I realized from the guys that are maybe more, I don't want to use the word antisocial, but the guys that don't have this level of communication, they were some of the best guys, because they're so used to being in the work that they're not used to talking to people when things go wrong because things are going well for them. So I don't know, just some stuff I picked up on.
no, awesome. Well, final question for you, Jonathan. Like, how can people kind of get a hold of you or learn a little bit more about you?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel, Paid Ads Pros. You can check us out. We go into some of the psychology that we use whenever we're trying to do any types of marketing strategies. And you can also check out our website, paidads.pros.com.
Okay. Well, Jonathon Lemon of Paid Ad Pros, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your day.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
you too. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, thanks.